Welcome to the One Year Book of Mormon. A non-Mormon reads through the Book of Mormon. Mosiah chapter 12. Chapter overview. 2 years after the end of the last chapter, Abinadi comes back and starts prophesying again. The people capture him and take him to the king, saying that both they and the king are innocent of any wrongdoing. The king and the priest question him and claim that they do teach the law of Moses. He counters that if they did, they would know it better. Then he asks them if salvation comes by the law of Moses, and they say yes, so he says that it doesn't because they don't keep the law. The first point to consider is in verse 1, and that is that after 2 years of living in hiding under threat of death, Abinadi goes among the people in disguise so that the people won't recognize him. And then the first thing he does is tell them all who he is, which makes no sense at all. Why go in disguise if the first thing you do is reveal your true identity? It would be like Batman dressing up in his Batman costume so that nobody would know he's Bruce Wayne, going to the local media, taking off his mask and saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm Bruce Wayne." Skipping ahead to verses 21 through 24, this passage quotes Isaiah 52, verses 7 through 10. Verse 22 has a difference in punctuation between the 1830 and the modern Book of Mormon, which is also the King James Version, that changes the meaning. It's not a huge change, but it is a change. The 1830 version says, "Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice with the voice, together shall they sing." But the modern version, along with the King James, says, "Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice, with the voice together shall they sing." Granted, this is not a big change, but it's odd that there would be any change at all. Perhaps Joseph Smith thought it was awkward or didn't sound right in the King James. Perhaps it was just a mistake, too, with Joseph Smith overlooking a semicolon, they are small after all, and then inserting it in the wrong place later. Verses 25 through 26 contain a scathing rebuke that would be excoriating when applied to modern and past LDS leaders. "Are you priests and pretend to teach this people and to understand the spirit of prophesying, and yet desireth to know of me what these things mean? I say unto you, woe be unto you for perverting the ways of the Lord. For if ye understand these things, ye have not taught them. Therefore ye have perverted the ways of the Lord." Now, how many times have we been told by modern Mormons that the leaders of the LDS Church, whether Brigham Young, when he taught Adam God doctrine, or blood atonement, or the black priesthood ban, or the writers of more recent but now discarded church manuals and such like, didn't understand and were just giving their opinions? We need to respond with this verse. Are you teaching people what you don't even understand? If you do understand them properly, why don't you teach them correctly? Verse 29 says in part, "If you teach the law of Moses, why do you not keep it?" This is a good question for the Nephites in general, since, as I pointed out numerous times, in the Book of Mormon they claim to keep the law, but don't have Levites as priests, sacrifice outside of Jerusalem, etc., etc. It struck me that Joseph Smith probably was comfortable with the modern idea of Protestant preachers and Roman Catholic priests not needing to be Levites, but just rising up and becoming preachers, feeling called to the ministry or whatnot. So Joseph Smith didn't realize how wrong it was, according to the law of Moses, for Old Testament Israelites not to have Levitical priests. So Joseph Smith didn't realize how wrong it was to write that just anybody became a priest or a preacher or a prophet.